Hello and welcome. My name is Matt Wassink. I am the Senior Channel Manager at SPS Commerce for our Sage channel. Thank you for joining me today. As we get started, we're going to take a look at the order to cash process and integration within Sage, and really kind of thinking big picture about the different channels that you're probably leveraging right now in today's world to capture the sales of your product. We're going to think about EDI, various methods of transmitting that electronic data, as well as the different channels and mechanisms that are used today. At a very high level, kind of an introductory sense, when we think about fulfilling orders, we recognize at SPS that there is a significant degree of complexity. As you look at the screen in front of you, moving from left to right, are really kind of the four buckets that we think of customers when it comes to how they manage their order to cash process. On the left, you have the lowest level of complexity. This is the category where you're new to EDI. Maybe you've gotten into your first retailer that requires EDI. You've just landed a deal with Target. You're excited, you're celebrating in the office, and then somebody realizes kind of the uh-oh moment. Now we have to figure out this EDI puzzle. All we know is how to spell it. We don't know how to do it. SPS can come alongside you at any point in this process and in this journey, whether that's a single trading partner, you're brand new to EDI, or you have 5 trading partners, each with their own requirements, their own business processes, their own EDI document types that they require, maybe involving a 3PL, all the way over to integration within your Sage ecosystem. The point here is simply that SPS offers you a scalable solution that makes sense pricing-wise wherever you are in this journey, but also ensures you don't have to rip out and change how you complete your order to cash process, depending on how you grow. Rather than a bottleneck to growth, our scalable solution actually empowers your growth as you move forward and grow as a company. Having said that, one of the things I'd like to do today is actually to take a step back as we think about the order to cash process and recognize there's really 2 sides to the equation. There's the retailer ecosystem and the supplier ecosystem. It's actually made more complex, though, when you think about the fact that many suppliers also have their own buy side. They have their own vendors that they work with. There is all sorts of complexity that sits within this, and that complexity has to be managed and accounted for. The better you manage and account for it, the smoother that order to cash process is, the more quickly you can move product, sell product, and be reimbursed for the product you sold. You have to exchange item data, but that's also an opportunity for a failure to exchange that data. There's a problem that can exist there. At each point as we go through this process, you might not know if the supplier is receiving the order. Conversely, the supplier might not know if the retailer knows that they've received it successfully. There can be questions of whether the supplier can fulfill all, some, none, if they can fulfill now or later. All of these points are points of potential failure in this process. You don't know when a supplier is going to ship, when it will arrive. These are the questions that retailers think about when they drive EDI compliance. They also have questions regarding when product does arrive, what's in the order? What kind of detail do we have? This is a common limiter of how many stores a DC, a distribution center, can actually support. DC workers sometimes don't have a way to quickly get the order information into their WMS. It also means the DC doesn't have the information needed to quickly get that product to the right location. From the supplier side of that equation, it means your items, your product that you're meaning to sell is languishing in the retailer's distribution center and not on the shelves. All of that in turn means it's a challenge at Bless to support e-commerce. We live in a world now where many customers have pivoted to leveraging e-commerce as the way they expect to buy product, but there's also real expectations for how that product will arrive to them in a timely manner. It's another layer of the complexity. There can be an experience of slow distribution of products to stores. And then in turn, the store's planning can be hindered because they're missing items or there's incorrect item information that inhibits their ability to have correct inventory planning. All of this to say, regardless of what side of the equation, or if you see multiple sides of the equation, there's a reason why EDI can be a mechanism for supporting this and actually leveraged to take the complexity and unravel it. But if you don't have the right EDI solution or the right order to cash process in place, you're also vulnerable at multiple points along the product line. or along the order to cash process. When you don't have the correct solution, when you have these vulnerabilities, it means that both retailers and suppliers find themselves investing in new technology, adding staff, constant process change to try and manage a constantly shifting world of order fulfillment. Or they have issues with inventory, retailers having too much of a supplier's inventory and having to send some back. The list goes on and on and on. We found that 91% of retailers are not getting essential information that they need from suppliers, or the information that they're getting is actually an error. What happens on the supplier side when there's errors in the information is sent is typically fees, chargebacks, etc. The result of all of this complexity, both on the buy and the sell side, is that there are significant business problems, and that pain is felt throughout the organization. It's felt by the sales team. It's felt by the buyers in these retail organizations. There can be reactive order management. You can't quickly confirm if orders have been shipped, if they're on time and when they're complete. There's inaccurate invoicing. There can be a longer road to actually onboarding new trading partners. One of the things that's hardest for a supplier is to actually have an efficient process to grow and bring on new trading partners and then fit them into your business processes. There's scalability issues as you add new trading partners that have their own requirements, their own business processes, their own required EDI documents, etc. This also ultimately drives up IT costs. You end up with unexpected costs, chargebacks, fees, and sometimes tension with your relationship with those trading partners. When we think specifically of EDI and wholesale orders, these are the 7 components you see that are required: the people, the process, and technology that at a bare minimum, you have to successfully complete to manage EDI. To have compliance with EDI trading partners, you have to have technology, trading partner expertise, design and configuration. You have to know how that trading partner wants to communicate. You'll have to test and launch to make sure that these documents are successfully being transmitted back and forth. There's also a requirement for ongoing support and then proactive monitoring and analysis. As a full service provider, as the only full service provider, SPS checks all 7 of these boxes. There isn't a single one of these 7 that you can not do and successfully transmit EDI. In this space, our competitors only tend to check 2 or 3 of these boxes. The gap between their 3 and our 7 falls on your shoulders. At the end of the day, if you view EDI as a core competency of your business and you want to take on the heavy lifting of trading partner expertise, testing, certification, launch, proactive monitoring and analysis, this might be the option for you. Most customers realize the growing complexity of EDI as a company increases its trading partner count is not something they want to mess with. That's where SPS is unique and has established itself as the industry leader. There are also unique processes and technologies that allow you to drive smarter business. We have a suite of full service solutions that deliver data and insights that actually enhance your business every step of the journey, whether you buy or sell product. For the sellers, a crucial piece to point out here is the item data. If you are working with the retailers of the world, the Targets, the Walmarts, etc., they require product data to be shared so that they know the details of your product, that they know the product attributes, both for their website and how they can position that product in their stores. Anyone who is a part of the exchanging of that item data within your organization as a seller will know firsthand how difficult that is. It typically involves countless emails back and forth between them and their buyer at every trading partner that you're doing business with. The benefit of our assortment solution, our assortment product, is it allows you to automate the sending of this item data. We can come alongside you and allow you to send it to your retailers in a way that's exactly to the specifications they require. It means really 2 things. A, it's a massive time saver for your team. You don't have a person constantly doing the back and forth of comparing spreadsheets and sending emails, but it also goes a long way to improving your vendor scorecard. On the retailer side, buyers want to work with companies that have product that the public is interested in buying, but as well as customers who are going to do a good job at meeting their requirements. When your buyer has confidence knowing you can successfully and cleanly and efficiently send item data, your vendor scorecard improves and they want to move more of your product through their stores. The other thing that's important to recognize here is there are multiple ways and channels in which businesses are selling. Historically, SPS has been the industry leader when it comes to the wholesale side of a business. The B2B side, you think EDI transactions. We have a network of over 3,000 pre-built retailers, grocers, and distributors. What's unique now is we also have a very significant strategy for helping you to grab your e-commerce and marketplace solutions as well. So rather than having multiple EDI providers jumping out to retailers' portals, also managing your own Shopify or Magento connection for the e-commerce component of your business, as well as marketplaces like Amazon, Target, and Walmart, and figuring out how to manage all these different channels in different mechanisms and different order to cash processes, we can smooth out and streamline all of that complexity, leveraging our Sage Mapadoc software, and grab your EDI components, eliminate all the vendor portals, grab your e-commerce business and your marketplaces, and pull all of that information into your Sage system. The reason that we're able to do this is we are the world's retail network. We have 90,000 pre-mapped connections. Again, those 3,000 buying organizations, 1,000 3PLs that allow you to communicate seamlessly with the warehouse that's shipping your product. I think another piece that's really important to call out here that doesn't really get considered very often, SPS is the preferred vendor for 400 retailers when it comes to testing and certification. These are the largest, most well-established retailers in the world who hire SPS to ensure that their vendor community is compliant with EDI. These retailers are saying their preference is that their customers, their vendor community, leverage SPS for EDI. And if not SPS, then SPS is the one responsible for testing that EDI solution to make sure it works. The beauty of this is every customer has the opportunity to operate in the same way that the Targets and the Walmarts and the Costcos and the US Foods of the world think and operate. You can use SPS to go to your vendor community, to go to your suppliers and drive that same kind of compliance. Sometimes the objection is, well, our suppliers aren't doing EDI right now. That's totally okay. We encounter that all the time. We actually take all the burden of communicating that, of working through that and helping to get your vendor community, your supplier community compliant with EDI so that you can leverage the same kind of full audit trail on both the buy and sell side that major retailers are doing. It's a huge game changer for our customers. When we think of full service EDI, it's about the technology and tools. In the Sage space, these are unquestionably first class. It's about a team of experts, the people and expertise that are brought to bear in the process and relationships. We know your trading partners. We know how to proactively manage the change environment that you're going to see. When it comes to the people, though, it's 1,700 people that help us deliver on this full service promise. 800 of those people are devoted to customer success. For Sage specifically, it's a 60-person Sage team. These are experts in Sage. They live and breathe Sage. So every time you go to onboard a new integrated Sage partner, you're working with that Sage team. When you have customer support issues, a trading partner has changed requirements for one of their EDI documents, and you need to make sure that it's mapping correctly into your system. It's a Sage expert on that Sage support team that handles it. It's a total differentiator in the space. SPS has almost a 25-year track record of partnership with Sage. We have 50,000 daily production documents. In short, we are the Sage certified and Sage recommended EDI solution. We're also built within the Sage ERP. Our technology lives natively within your Sage system, and it's fully embedded. The code has a tight integration. So this Mapadoc software that you're leveraging is the place that Sage points you to. When we think about this, it really means we untangle the complexity. Every trading partner has unique documents that they require. They have their own unique business processes. They have their own unique requirements for what those EDI documents entail. In your current state, you're probably seeing point-to-point connections with these. You have to take on some of the work of mapping and translating, and scalability becomes a real issue. What you have when you leverage SPS and SPS's software Mapadoc for Sage integration is a simplified, standardized, and streamlined process. We take on the mapping, the translation, the standardization, and all the connectivity on your behalf. We plug you into our pre-built network, and then we shoulder the responsibility of ongoing trading partner communication and proactive customer support. When we think specifically about the instance of Sage that you're running, if you're a Sage 100 customer, our Mapadoc solution, as you can see here, lives right within Sage, and it's right on the left, along with all the other module tabs that you see on a day-to-day basis. This isn't a generic adapter that's a bolt-on for Sage along with 6 other ERPs. This is something that is built and designed from the ground up for your Sage system. It means you live and breathe within Sage 100. It's a true single source of truth. The same is true when we look at the example of Sage X3. Again, Mapadoc sits there alongside your other modules. We customize and build the mapping according to your business processes so that it maps and matches the flow of how you handle orders within your normal order to cash process. We'd be happy to schedule time to demo either Sage 100, Sage X3, whatever you'd like to see to show you what this looks like. The sweet thing for you, the benefit for you is between the buy side and the sell side, it gives you the opportunity to have all elements of order to cash, EDI, wholesale, e-commerce, marketplace, living in your Sage system. Your customers on the buy side, your customers on the buy side and the sell side, living and breathing within a single system, a true single source of truth. In summary, SPS is the industry leader. We check all 7 boxes required to do EDI when it comes to compliance. And we also offer the only truly native and embedded solution when it comes to the Sage ecosystem. What this means for you is faster onboarding, true scalability, both internally and externally, the elimination of errors and manual entry, reduced IT costs, reduced chargebacks. You can streamline all of your disparate channels to smooth out how you handle all these things. You can take that key member of your workforce, that key member who wears 20 hats and is busy all day managing the different ways that you're grabbing orders from your different trading partners, and reallocate those crucial labor hours to other more revenue generating tasks. I know we covered a lot today. I'd love to go over more with you in detail, speak specifically to your needs. Again, my name is Matt Wasink. I'm the Senior Channel Sales Manager here at SPS Commerce. There's my email on my phone. I look forward to the opportunity to talk and discuss more. Talk soon.